YouTube people, guys, hear me out. So normally, like when you shoot underwater footage with my GoPro, I'm gonna show you a different method of shooting underwater footage, and I mean clean underwater footage. We have my boy over here. Let me focus this properly. Yes, underwater footage. See it here? The beast. Okay, so let me introduce this camera. Tell me what this is. Tell me what this is.
This is actually a housing, right? So the camera is not even in it yet. It takes a 1DX Mark II, and this is a Nauticam housing.
Oh, a what?
A Nauticam. Nauticam is a brand.
No, it's all.
Yeah, it's a naughty camera, right? We shoot naughty films with it. So it's a Nauticam housing. You can see back here is the name of this is a model number. So NA1DX Mark II. So it's just basically the camera that it takes. And then you take that camera and put it inside and make some pretty awesome images.
Yo, this is so this is what you really swim with? Like, it's crazy.
Well, if I'm diving, like scuba diving with the tank and all of that, I take all of this fun stuff. But if I'm just going snorkeling, I take the arms off, and then I only have the body and of course the dome port. I don't take any lights with me. I just work with ambient light. Yeah, so here these arms are really just so you can articulate all of your light sources, and you're gonna see two different light sources here. These orange ones are strobes, right? So it's like a flash, you know, like the flash on your camera that pops up, but just bigger. And then these ones are video lights. So because I could never decide what it is I wanted to do, whether it was photos or videos,
Just get bored.
okay, I have to try and find the camera and the setup that does the best. And then that's why I kind of chose the 1DX Mark II, because it does really good video and then it does good photos as well. So when I'm down there and I'm shooting photos, I'll have these guys on, and then when I'm shooting video, I'll have these guys on. However, you can take photos with the video lights as well. It's just that you don't have as much light to play with the aperture and those kind of things. Now, as far as the dome port, this dome port will take a wide angle lens, and I shoot with an 8 to 15mm Canon lens. So you get super wide. At 8mm, you're basically looking at a circle. You're capturing 180 degrees. Like if I was to hold the camera here and put it here, I would be seeing my toes out here. That's how wide it is.
So what about you don't get vignettes and those type of things?
No, actually, and I think it's where you end up spending a whole lot on the lens itself, because the lens that I use at Canon 8 to 15, I think it's $1,900 or something just for the lens. Let me show you.
Oh, because normally I know you get vignettes when you're shooting that with such a wide angle lens.
No, it's really not that bad. But when I'm underwater, I don't like that round business. So I usually shoot at 15mm. And this is a 24 to 70 Sigma, but I don't like it. I just bought it, so I just had my 24 to 70 repaired by Canon, so that's supposed to come back soon. So this is a hold me over lens until that one comes in.
It's a hold me over.
Right. Now this one is a 100mm macro, and when we're shooting macro, like super close up, you know, you really want to zoom in on the eye of the fish or super close on the coral, you use this macro adapter, and then you change this port here. All right, let me show you. This port will come off. Alright.
So you don't get scared when you know that you're going to put your camera in the water?
I'm gonna show you how it has actually a vacuum/alarm to show you whenever your camera is leaking. So before I go into the water,
this is kind of crazy, because normally it would be the other way around.
What?
Because of its shape, like a lens, that'd be the other way around.
So this ends up going in here.
Okay.
Right? And then it attaches to the camera. And then when we're using this guy, which is a wide angle lens, you'll see this one. Let me show you.
Oh, it's a red. Okay. Right. No, I know it. Now I see why you don't really get the vignette.
Right.
The red ring. It's crazy.
So the other thing is, of course, you know, when you shoot underwater, you'll see the majority of people's footage will come out looking like really blue or really green, and then you lose all the real colors. And that's because when you go underwater and you go deep, the deeper you go, you start to lose red. And you know, you have red, green, and blue. That's what you're normally shooting with, and the combination of those gives you all of your
colors. Yeah.
But as you go underwater, the deeper you go underwater, you lose red, right? Every time you go down, you start losing more and more red until there's no red. And the only way to get that back is to add a red filter in front of your lens. Have you seen these for your GoPro?
Yeah, for GoPro, but I don't use any on my GoPro. None at all.
So I would suggest you using it, especially when you're filming, say even below 5 feet. If you're right on the surface, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Right? But this one, because it's a wide angle and it's a fisheye, I can't screw a filter on it. So you use basically a filter on the back of it.
Oh, this one uses a filter at the back. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's crazy. That's cool.
So yeah, so you end up just putting the filter on there and then you're all good. We're gonna prepare the housing, and then I'm always really conscious about dust getting in there. More for video, because if it's just a little dust speck or something on the final image, I can always remove it, but still don't want dust in there. So I removed this just now. This is the base plate for the camera, so I would put this back, and then while I'm preparing that, I'll do this here. Oops, this is from my other tripod because we're shooting some time-lapse the other day. And then we'll go ahead and we'll put this on right here. And what this does, all these little things here, is just so that it gives you access to the controls of these things, like releasing the lens or messing with the zoom on the lens from outside the housing. So we'll do this, right? And then we'll just screw it down. You don't need to crank down on this or anything. And just make sure that I don't have any dust there. And then I put that down. I'll take this off. Open this up so that we can slide in the camera on the base plate here. And I put these two fun little tabs. You just slide it right in and you lock it down. And I already changed the battery. And then we'll make sure that we got our cards and stuff in there. Turn that off. So we have CFast, and then I forgot what this one is called now. What is this one again? Compact flash, and a CFast. So I'll shoot to 2 cards all the time. So this is the primary card, is a CFast card, and then it backs up to this one, because I don't know if you guys have ever had where you're shooting something and then the card actually get corrupt in the body and then you lose everything. So
never reach me.
Yeah, it's happened to me before on a job, and anyways, it was not good. But now what happens is I'll shoot to the primary one and then it copies over in camera. So yeah, now you have backup inside the camera before you even pull it off, right? So once we have all of this situated, inside this body you have this little battery here, and then it has this mechanism which allows it to tell you when there's a leak or when there's water inside the housing. And then it does 2 things. It's checking the vacuum inside. So I will pull a vacuum on the housing, and then it gives me a little green light, and I'll show you what that looks like. So we close it, right? And now the whole thing is sealed. There's a port right here. I'll pull this out, and this is a vacuum port. And then you notice, right here, this is a LED light indicator, but I did not flip it on. So I'm gonna quickly go ahead and flip it on inside, which is here. And if you notice now, that's now flashing. All right, if I put this on, and then I pull this vacuum, look at this light here as I pull the vacuum on it. So you turn from yellow, and then it's gonna go to green, and then it'll say solid green. All right, so now we're at solid green. And when I do this, I'll usually leave the housing set up for, half an hour. Like we're going to the lagoon. I won't take it out again, but just before I get in the water, I'll check it to make sure it's okay. Now if the housing starts to leak or there's any sense of water inside, you'll hear an audible alarm inside the housing, and you have to go up, right? So it's like really annoying beep. I've only heard it once. So I was in Turks and Caicos and I shoot there, and then I heard it fly up to the surface and there was no water, so it's like some false alarm. It was the only time that ever happened to me. All right, and then we just make sure before we go in the water that all your focus and everything is set up.
And you pull focus manually?
No, you can pull focus manually, but I don't have that set up yet because there's just too many things going on. Right? So all I do actually is to make sure that I didn't leave it on manual focus, because I do manual focus when the body is outside, and then it sucks sometimes. You can imagine you set up the whole camera, you go underwater, you're like 40 feet, you're ready to shoot, and you're like, crap, I can't focus. Oh no, I forget to set it on autofocus, right? So anyways, so that seems okay. This lever here is just the zoom, right? And this is just basically 8 to 15, because we have the 8 to 15 in there right now. And then this is really easy. I can switch, that's video, so I'm videoing there.
It lights up.
No, this one is just a little red mark. And then, you know, you'll get used to your camera body and where buttons are, and then you have to get used to the housing and where all the buttons are. This is like, you know, to activate your menu and set button. You know, this one you can manipulate your ISO right here, and then also this is your multifunction button. Like I'll set it up.
So this is the LCD screen. I can see.
Right. Hold on. If I go here, see now. Right. So you can see all the way at 8mm you're catching the outside of the dome port.
Yeah.
So I usually will just back it out slightly like there. So I shoot right there. Now look at what happens when you shoot video, right? If I'm all the way out here, I'll probably pull it into about 12 before I start to lose the dome port on the side. So I'll shoot there. Now some people, what they will do when they want that round image, they will take off this piece right here so they don't catch it, and then they have just that circular photo. You ever seen a circular photo with the not 360 but the 180 stuff? Then the next thing is, of course, you know, each one of these carry batteries. These ones here carry just 4 regular AA, so I have some rechargeable AA's in there. And these right here take some proprietary batteries, and I have
so much
two sets of these. And this will last me 2 dives. You know, each dive being about 40 minutes. I thought you were going to say 2
days.
No, 2 dives. Right. So each dive being about 40 minutes. So I have 2 sets, so I can have basically 80 minutes.
Oh, you mean when you have on the scuba? Oh, because
yeah.
I'm like 40 minutes under the water.
Yeah, hold your breath for 40 minutes, right? So, and that's one of the things, you know, I mean, a lot of people get really caught up in the gear and they buy this and buy that. I'm very, very guilty about that. But lately, you know, when you start to have all of this stuff, you have a different battery for everything, you have a different charger for everything, you have a box, a case, and the next thing you know, you have a whole trunk full of gear, and you show up on a site and you use 30% of it, and you realize you never even pulled the rest of the stuff out.
Never need it.
And I'm starting to look at that now. So you have, you know, you have this slider, you have the automatic this, you have a stabilizer, you have all kinds of things. And the majority of times now when I go out to shoot something, let's say I'm shooting on land, I might use my glide cam, right? But I don't have, I think you have a gimbal.
Gimbal,
right?
yeah.
So I've used them before, but I don't own one, and I refuse to buy one, right? I just don't want more stuff. I don't know, I get to do more things, right? So it comes to that point now where you just want to focus on your craft, that thing, and just get better at that. Because in the beginning, I think you really don't know what your craft is, you know, like, or you know what your craft is, but you don't know what your direction within that field is. And once you figure that out, you can start to shed a lot of the things that you're normally not using all the time. Yeah, also these are flash triggers. You guys never saw these. These are fiber optic cables. So inside, when I shoot the camera, you know, on top of the camera, normally you have this hot shoe.
Hot shoe.
So the hot shoe will fire light inside the housing, and then the light transmit through these fiber optic cables to then fire the strobe. So what's really nice about these as well is that I can take this off, put it on its own stand, and sit it over there.
In the water?
In the water. And then I'll take this off.
It does.
Right, and then this will be this will capture the light as a slave from this one. So this one can be
crazy.
Completely by itself over a little worm or something, and then I'll be adjusting this one. So when I fire it, this one will activate.
So you have a key light and a backlight.
Yeah.
No, that is. I never know it went so far.
All little things like that. But that's the other thing. These things are really delicate. I mean, it's stupid. Look at this thing. This is $100 US for this stupid little cable here. I don't get it. Why? I don't know why. But then, can you get it anywhere else?
No.
Can you find an aftermarket YouTube or eBay thing? I've looked. You know, say the man was like, no, it's too simple. I can find this for $20 on eBay. No, you can't. you have to go and buy it from them. So somebody out there who has the means and want to support all of the underwater, the aspiring underwater photographers that can't afford it. Although I've gotten into this, you know, if I want to go and upgrade now, I'm looking at a whole bag of money and I just don't want to spend it. So I'm going to milk this thing as much as I can.
Because right now your camera look brand new same way.
Right. So, anyways, but yeah, man, that's underwater photography in a nutshell. We're gonna meet up with another YouTuber who is doing really well. We're gonna go down to the lagoon. Pedro gonna get to go use this thing. We're not gonna carry the lights because he will probably drown and
that'd be crazy.
At the bottom of the lagoon. So we're gonna take the lights off.
Yeah,
and then we'll just have
perfect.
this and this, but you still get fantastic photos.
So I'm perfectly fine with that.
I guess the next thing is we're gonna see in the water.
So the man used the Era 9 Black for the vlog then. You see me? So trust me, that one is a different one because that one if we go deep into the water and idea. So all of the cool content them we see from this. You see me? But I always recommend these type of GoPros too because they're nice, especially the 9, nice. 7, 8, I use the 7 Black, so it actually worked out for me. You see me? So I'll jump into the ocean and so on. How long do you do this?
About almost 2 years.
2 years, what's it been like for you?
Rough. Sometimes it just in between, like everything good now, then sometimes it's not good, you know.
But Mr. say audience turn up wicked, man.
Yeah, audience turn up and put in the work, you know. Everybody love what go on and, you know.
Hear that? Put in the work, because if you don't put in the work, things not gonna work out for you. So I'm gonna switch to my GoPro, you know. You don't like the GoPro quality, but let me see how that go. So I am all the way basically out in the depths of this place, but I shall be going over there. But I'm going near the water. I don't know how this audio sounds. Alright.